As I told you before, Abraham has great possession. Lot, his nephew, also was there. And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abraham and the herdmen of Lot. And we all know that story well, that the herdmen were quarreling over land, who to get the better part of the land. And Abraham intervened and said that we are brethren, let's have this problem. So he gave Lot the opportunity to say, okay, Lot, choose your part of the land, and anywhere you choose the other part. And you know, Lot looked, and when Lot looked, and he saw the lush vegetation on this side, and that nearer to the city, Sodom, Lot chose that side. You know, sometimes we choose, and we're going nearer and nearer into problems. You know, in those days as well, there was war. Is the first recorded war that was mentioned in the Bible. And we see here where Abraham was a warrior. It says here that Abraham had to rescue Lot from his enemy, and that is found in Genesis 14, verses 13 to 16. We know as well that Abraham's wife Sarah was barren. She could not have any children. She believed that God has shut up her womb. He told Abraham that she is giving her Hagar, her handmaid, to be his wife. Now, one thing led to another. We see here where Abraham's faith here was faltering. We see here Abraham's faith was not strong. Why? Because the promise through whom the nation of the world would be blessed. Many times, my friend, we try to help God, but God's plans are not our plans. God's ways are not our ways. We need to do thus, says the Lord. What do you say? Just like Abraham, we are not perfect. We falter along the way. We may believe at times that what we are doing is right, but sometimes, my friend, wrong. All what was happening to Abraham was preparing him for the biggest test of his life that was coming up. All that was happening, Abraham was being prepared for the biggest test yet of his life. Abraham journeyed to Gerar, and when he Gerar, the same thing that happened in Egypt while he was deported, it is the same thing again. Could we say that Abraham was a compulsive liar? Abraham was a man of God. You know, even at time, the very best Christian. What do you say? We are not perfect, my friends. There are times when we will miss the mark. Journey to Gerar and did the same thing. He tell the same lie again that was her sister. Let's go to Genesis 20 and let's look at verses 4 to 7. Genesis 20, verses 4 to 7. And it's read, and Abimelech come near her, and he said, Lord, wilt thou slay also a righteous nation? Said he not unto she is my sister, and she herself said, he is my brother. In the integrity of my heart and innocency of my hand have I done this. And God said unto him in a dream, Hey, I know that thou didst this in the integrity of thine heart, for I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Therefore suffer not to touch her. Now therefore restore the man his wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know that thou shalt surely die, and all that are thine. So we see where Abraham did the same thing. Is it that Abraham is a repetitive and a compulsive liar? Or is it that Abraham only tell a little lie when his back is against the wall? You know, it is said that whatever the parents do, child will always follow. And history also tells us that Isaac did the same thing. So we see where the father did it, and then many years after, the son came and do the same very thing. Isaac told a lie that Rebekah was in fact his sister. Even though in Abraham's situation, Sarah was his half sister. But sometimes it's better you tell the whole truth than to mix the truth or tell truth. Do you get me? So we need to tell the truth, not half truth, but the whole truth. Parents need to be careful. There's a text that says the mother and the father suck the sour grapes, the children teeth and edge. So as parents, we need to be careful what we do, because sometimes the third generation reap what we should have gotten. So we see here where Abraham did that and in his lineage. All right, let's go to the birth of Isaac. So we see here where the angel did visited Sarah, spoken to Sarah, and Sarah conceived and bare a son. Abraham had a son, old age. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born. You know, you were promised a son, and you was waiting the son. And the wife said, I'm too old. I'm not going to be able to have a child. Go to my handmaid. But many years after, God's promise came true. We need to understand that God and our time is not the same. What do you say? God will work out his thing in due time. And, you know, Isaac is a promised child. God doesn't totally recognize Ishmael because Ishmael is not the promise. Because when God talked to Abraham, he talked to Abraham about the one and only son. Why would God tell Abraham about the one and only son when in fact Abraham had a son? Because Isaac was the second son. Ishmael was the first. But we know that in everything, the devil will always work to throw off the plan. What do you say? The scripture said that after these things, that in Genesis 22, 1 to 14, God did tempt. Is this for real? God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. And he said unto him, Take now thy son. I want to get this part. Thy only son Isaac. Why would God say thy only son Isaac? Ishmael was before. Because Isaac was the promise. Isaac, all the nation of the world would be blessed. You know, if Ishmael has not been born, the war in the Middle East probably would not have been. Because it is two brothers fighting, and they're fighting over land. Two family members fighting. So God said, take now thy son, thy only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell you. What does it mean when it says that God tempt Abraham? Is God doing the work of the devil? Because it is the devil's work to tempt. So did God tempt Abraham? Let me explain. The word tempt has more than one meaning. The word tempt means to seduce someone. That's one meaning. It also means to draw one into sin. And it also means allurement to give pleasure. So, is it that God was luring away Abraham? God was drawing Abraham into sin? No, God forbid. Can God tempt someone into sin? Yes or no, church? Can God tempt someone into sin? No, it's not God's character. God is not like that. Let us turn to James 1 and verse 13. Turn your Bible and let's look at James 1 and verse 13. That's James 1 and verse 13. Let's look at verse 13. Let no man say when he's tempted, I am tempted of who? Of God.